Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, unless you're a Falcons fan, in which this is your one and only warning. Fresh off the heels of their abysmal RMR performance, it's been nothing but bad news. You had glaring issues, it looked like you had no symmetry as a team, and the best idea you had was to bench a top 20 opper to loan out Simple. Oh, I know, let's bring Simple back, he'll fix everything, we're going to the major. How'd that work out for you? Taking an overtime win versus Eclat isn't exactly screaming tier 1 team, you know? When you have a 5-time major winner in dupreeh, a 4-time major winner, and his teammate in Magisk, arguably the greatest of all time player in CS in Simple, and 2 talented players in Snappy and Madden, oh, and of course, not to mention the 5-time winning coach, Zonic, you kind of have a stacked team. So you have the all-time winningest major in dupreeh, Zonic and Magisk, and Simple the GOAT, and you barely beat Eclat. Oh, it gets worse. Much worse. 1-0 quickly turned to 1-1 in the RMRs, losing to FaZe Clan in OT when you were up 12-9. In fact, you threw that game so quickly, you dropped the final 7 rounds of the game. So going 1-1 now, you had to face SAW where you were the favorites to take that game. It's a best of 1, and it's going to Anubis. It shouldn't be a problem. It was a problem. A big one. Falcons kicked off the game going 2-0. Then proceeded to lose the next 13 of 16 rounds. You didn't just lose to SAW, they creamed you. So now you're staring down the end of your tournament. You have Gamer Legion to face. Losing the first map, but winning the second means it's the decider map. You managed to end the half at a respectable 5-7, and you win the pistol round 2, and you win the next round. It's a tie game 7-7. Anything can happen. Remember, this is for the major. But what happened? If you said the worst case scenario, then you still don't get a cookie. Gamer Legion snatched the final 6 rounds in a row and kicked Falcons to the curb, ending their dreams of making the major. Again. Oh, and added insult to injury, Gamer Legion made the major. But losing games like this is nothing new. Since September of 2024, the Falcons have played 28 games. Their largest winning streak? 3! Winning twice against Atox and once against Virtus Pro. But it can't be that bad, right? Oh my
You what?
God.
You what? Oh my goodness!
In that 28 games, the Falcons have won 7 total games.
Falcons, you make me miserable and make me want to kill myself.
They have lost the last 21 of 28 effing games.
God damn it, son of a bitch.
How are you a top 30 team losing that many games? At one point, they dropped 15 of 16 games. Like, how? How is it you make Team Liquid look like not as frickin' Vincier? This should be literally impossible to lose that many games with the talent on this roster. Which is why I seriously think there's no cohesion in this group. dupreeh and Magisk were teammates for arguably the greatest team ever in Astralis. And to add to that, you had a trio from Ents in Snappy, Madden, and Sunpius. All very talented players. And that didn't work. Then you add Simple and think he's going to do better in this stint than he did in that last one. To be fair, he did do better than the last one. But it's still not helping. Seriously, how could you get any... Whoa, my days. Simple's had enough. Quote, I'm not moving to Falcons. End quote. Outright squashing the small rumors of him being a part of Falcons long term, he announced he won't be continuing his stint with Falcons. Bruh, when even Simple doesn't want to stay with you, that's a brutal statement. Whether he doesn't like his teammates or something deep in the organization just isn't something I can tell you right now. But hearing one of the greatest Counter-Strike players say that, Falcons might be unsavable. But in that same article, check it out on HLTV, all articles will be in the description below, Zonic hinted at something. Quote, a lot of players know the next year might be different. End quote. And just a day later, on the 21st of November, I was shocked to see this breaking news. dupreeh, Madden, and Snappy are benched on Falcons. To be honest, I'm shocked they made this move so soon. I shouldn't be. I really shouldn't be, but I am. Especially at dupreeh. Dupreeh early in his stint with the Falcons was actually good, but recently it's been a slew of horrible games. Heck, at one point, he was the best Danish player in Counter-Strike 2. From his time starting in late February to the end of August, he had a near 109 rating, 113 impact, and an ADR of a .79. That's really good. But since then, something's just gone very wrong. Going from a 1.09 rating, it dropped all the way to a mind-boggling 0.88. Like, how? It's gotten so bad that in that time frame, dupreeh's had 7 games with a 1.05 or better rating. 7. Like, how? Again, how does that severe of a drop happen in just 2 months? We're not talking about any pro here. We're talking about the all-time winningest major winner in dupreeh. 5 majors. And again, in that time frame, what was that win percentage equating to? Want to guess how bad it was? 25.8%. 20 goddamn 5%. 1 in 4 games they're winning. I get it. You're facing Furia, FaZe, Virtus, and Na'Vi. But if you're going to boast about being a juggernaut team, you need to beat those teams. There is no excuses when you have this much talent on one roster. So now, Falcons have lost the GOAT of Counter-Strike, their chance at a major, nuked the team completely, and have to start from scratch all over again. And this isn't the first time this has happened. Look at the full roster of pros they've had play for them, and you'll see some insane names. From Kenny S's last ride to Kiaz and Koijin. Maka used to play for them before playing for 3D Max now. By the way, Maka and 3D Max are 2-0 in the RMRs at the time of this recording. Masuda went to Falcons after his tenure with Vitality. NBK was a part of Falcons for a long time before being benched. Boros showed how skilled he was before being benched for a long time, and so many more players. And no, we add 3 more names, about to be 4, with Simple that will cut ties with Falcons without even making a major. But the hilarious part about this whole thing? Look closer at some of those names and they'll ring a few bells. Kiaz would be the player that would play with Gamer Legion during their miracle run, placing 2nd at the Paris Major. Body is currently on Fnatic at the moment, a team that just made the Shanghai Major. And Maka, well, you already know since he's 1 best of 3 away from making his first major with 3D Max. And again, all those names, former Falcons players, which proves Falcons have had really talented players, but for one reason or another, just couldn't reach their fullest potential with this roster. So what's next for Falcons? Where do they go from here? Well, you're likely biding your time trying to get Nico to join the roster, but even then what? Magisk and Nico do not make a full team regardless of how talented they are. Well, I keep hearing Perfecto is looking for a new team. No, Falcons, do not go after him. No, don't you dare do that to Perfecto. He's suffered long enough already on C9's bench. Don't ruin his career too. But if you do, what about the last 2 spots? You could, I don't know, come to your senses and bring back some Pius back from the bench? He's just averaging a 1.08 rating through 2024. Oh, not good enough? How about having a 1.07 rating on LAN for you in 2024? So stop thinking he's the issue when I think it goes deeper than that. But taking that aside, if you bring him back, you still need 1 more player. Well, who could that be? Rumors on Apex? I mean, Vitality are probably not going to get rid of Apex, so that's not happening. Well, there was a rumor that Monacy would go with Nico, but come on, that wouldn't happen, right? If worst comes to worst, you can always bring Bro back. But right now, you're worse than any other Tier 1 team by a long shot. In fact, calling you Tier 1 just doesn't feel right. So you got time to fix your team now because you're out of major contention. So if I were you, I'd look at everything to fix Falcons. Because slapping new players on the team and calling it good enough might not be good enough anymore. Figure it out, Falcons. So subscribe for more breaking news and RMR coverage when it breaks. But what do you think of the Falcons? Should they have benched dupreeh, Snappy, and Madden? Does Simple leaving show how cracked Falcons Foundation is? And who will they sign next? Comment down below, and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Have an epic day. I'm out. Peace.